Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now.
My dad has tried Windows 8 for the first time on the computer that's now in front of him. It's still the same computer. This is OS 10, latest version of Lion. He has never used a Mac before. He's used an iPhone, he's used an iPad. He likes them. He is a dyed-in-the-wool Windows user, still loves his XP. Never used a Mac before. So a lot of people who were watching his Windows 8 frustrations and trying to get back or go back and forth between Metro and Aero, those two experiences that Microsoft's trying to push down the pike in the same release of Windows 8. Some people said, well, that's not fair. What would happen if he used OS 10 for the first time? So he's using OS 10 for the first time. All right, go ahead. Just give her go explore and let me know what you think, and maybe I'll ask you to do a couple of tasks to see how well you can do them.
Okay. Now, you know your dad's not a singer, right? Dun 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 dun. I feel like I'm going into space with
the wallpaper.
Yeah. What do you want me to do? Just I see a lot of familiar things. But the key is, I see a lot of familiar things. That's kind of nice to know.
Well, maybe I have to give you a directive.
And then it's got probably menus under here if I click on these.
Okay, I'll give you. I'll start you with a simple task. Go to the internet.
Go to the internet?
Mm-hmm.
Go to the internet. Well, I'm looking down here first.
Congratulations.
Wow! Uh-oh, what's coming up now? What's all these? Oh. These must be like windows that you've had up or something.
Nope, this is a brand new user.
Oh, okay. So now, there's something missing I would like to see. Again, because I'm old. Google. But I think I can find it. Because I can just... Well, wait a minute. I found Google's map. Wait a minute. And if I click on this, I think it'll... No, maybe not. So I did get the... Well, there's another way. So I'll just search... That brought me back to kind of where I was. And I got to close this, or minimum, okay. So, probably because of copyright laws, instead of coming over here to the right to close it, you evidently, because of this red button turned into an X, that must be how I close that window. Yeah. You probably move them the same way, yeah. What I'm trying to find is, so that you know what I'm looking for, is the Google, just the plain Google. That's what I'm trying to locate.
Sure, that what you're running into is actually a completely different problem. That's Google has recently changed it so that you can't click the Google logo in the upper left-hand corner of the website.
Yeah, I used to be able to do that, I know. Try this. I don't want to delete. Aha! There it is.
All right.
So now what I would do, well, I'd have to figure out how to do this, but I'd want to, if it were possible to get it down here in this, where all these pictures are down here, like that I'm familiar with these pictures, that'd be nice. Because Safari, I know is the same type of thing, but I'm just I'm just used to the Google. So I would probably try to save this somewhere. Maybe this plus. Okay, so I think I did this right. This plus is allowing me to save this as a bookmark. Add this to my reading list. Not quite sure what that means, but I want it, so I'm going to put it add to that. Okay, so put it somewhere. I saw a little gizmo jump. Maybe it's in this thing. I don't see it. There it is. So I found it a different way, but I'd still want to figure out where that is. Well, what I did there is I went to the one and it wasn't what I want, so I looked for a way to go back and I saw the arrow, so that's why I came back here. It's not on there either. I can install Google Chrome. I'm going to close this and look for it. I hate to close it. I'll minimize it. Okay, so right now what I did is, and I put it down here, I watched it kind of shrink up and went down to the bottom, so I know where it's at. It's down here where I'd like to have it, so for me that would work, and I probably wouldn't go any further, but I'm really curious as to where it's at as far as in. I'll pull that up. What's on here twice? Okay, so there's bookmarks here. So that's how I found it again. But I'm going to minimize it just in case I need it in a little bit. But I obviously know what this one is. That's the trash can, so I can throw things away. I probably can drag things. Someone has some downloads on here. Open it. Oh, okay. So if I want to learn about downloads, if I want to learn what this is, there's a README type deal here. But I don't particularly care right now. I'm just trying to figure out what all the icons are right now. Documents, that must be, my guess is like Excel, well, excuse me, numbers and whatever the words is. Well, that's your parallels that you were using yesterday. Okay, again, it's got a README type thing. Okay, it's a one-page document. Okay, and I could read that, but I'm not going to do that right now. So I'll just close this one, so I want to see what else is. These are probably photos. It didn't do anything when I clicked it. Oh, okay, there it is. Keep in dock. Okay, so this bar along the bottom must be what Apple or Mac calls it, the dock, because that's where this is. I'm like in school, so I'm looking back at the teacher, seeing if I can come heading right. So open that login, show in Finder. Okay, so no, I want to keep it right where it is. So we'll just leave that for now. And this system preferences, that's all the preferences for like my printer and all those kinds of things, probably. Desktop, the dock. So here must be something about the dock. I'm not going to open all these because I really don't. Oh, here's the cloud, and I'm kind of afraid of the cloud right now, but I might use it at some point. Here's something from Star Wars. I'm going to click this to see what it is. It says teleport, I think.
That's actually an extension I have installed on the computer for all users.
Oh, so I should not use that. I shouldn't mess with that. I'll just close
it. Makes it easier to share screens between different computers, or to use the same keyboard and mouse on different monitors.
Okay, so it's like an app.
Mm-hmm.
And this is, I know what this one is because I loaded it on my, that's iPhoto, that's new. That's what they were just talking about. This is Photo Booth, yeah, I got that app. And this, I hate the word iTunes, but this doesn't mean it in the sense that I don't like it. I think this is probably where you store, well, wait a minute, maybe it is iTunes. Yeah, because here's one of them lengthy things. Okay, now here, let's, just to show you what just amazes me. I don't know how many people actually read all this stuff, number one. And for you that read it, unless you're an English major or a lawyer, I don't know how you can understand it. But the bottom line is, if you decline it, you can't do whatever it is you're trying to do. So you have to agree. There really is no choice. So I'm going to agree just to see what this... Okay, this is the iTunes I don't like. So we'll close this so I just get out of here. Don't download. We'll get out of this. We'll close this window. Do they call them windows? And I'll close this window. So that's iTunes. On this is calendar, I think. Yeah. I use this on my iPhone a lot. And I like the month setting on the iPhone. Now this is a little bit more expanded than on the iPhone, but I think it's a little more expanded on the iPad also. So we'll close that. I know what that is. Well, and maybe that is a fair in that I know what these icons... Well, no. I was going to say maybe it's unfair for you guys to judge me using this because I'm saying I know all these. Well, just turning that real quick over in my head, what that told me was Apple or Mac or whoever did a good job training me. Now, they're using the kind of the same thing on this desktop that they're using on my iPad and on my own iPhone, so there's some consistency. And I didn't have to search for this thing down there, so I immediately saw that. So just a little thought that hit my head. Address book, that's probably all your contact. Well, not probably, it is all your contacts, I'm sure. And this is that's when Chris calls me to visit with me. He uses the FaceTime. Safari, that's just another, I think they're called search engines. That's like Google. I guess that's Apple's Google. And mail, I'm not sure what mail we got, probably Gmail. Well, it's got my name on there. So I could get into my Gmail, but I'm not going to do that right now. But I'm sure I could do. All I'd have to do is put in my username and my password and probably take me to Gmail. I'm assuming that because that's what I use. Email. And this is the app store, so I can go find all those apps. And I kind of like, I don't always get them, but I kind of like looking at them to see what's available. Oh, that was cool. Now there it said see all, and so I clicked that and then showing me all the ones under this particular category. On here's the various things like the top charts, categories. That's usually where I start. I'll go to categories, and usually the first one I look at, except for the other day, that's how I found the photo. I did the app and I went into photography and found the new iPhoto. But I had to update my iPad, and that was kind of a pain because I had to use iTunes. Games, education, but business is usually the one I'll browse it just to kind of see what's out there. And I don't need to do that right now, but that's kind of what I would do. It's like window shopping. that was the App Store. Mission Control. Not sure what that is, so I'm going to open it just to... Oh, okay. That was... Huh. Dashboard. Okay, this desktop is, I think, is just the background picture. That I kind of like that background picture. But dashboard, that's a term I'm kind of familiar with. So you must have all these little gizmos that you could probably set them wherever you want them. I don't know if you can expand this. Probably can somehow. But that'd be nice to open up something. And the calculator, I would keep that. Now what I would do, if I were organized, I'd get the calculator over here. Again, because I read left to right, I would put these in a way that makes sense to me.
Why don't you add a widget there to the desktop?
A widget? Well, I see an arrow on the right and I see a plus sign, and since I want to add, being an accountant, I'm going to hit the plus sign. Oh, okay. So I assume widgets was new. We used to use that terminology in accounting. There's some people out there who might remember when you did a sample, you were always selling widgets. That might be why they use this. Okay, I already have this clock.
Why don't you go ahead and add the sports ticker?
Sports. ESPN. Probably just drag it. Okay. That's cool.
Okay, go ahead and exit out of that menu.
Exit out of it?
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm not real sure how I'm going to do that, but I would try to hit the this multiply sign now. Okay. Like that?
Mm-hmm. Now get back to the desktop.
Well, I'm trying. I gotta see if I can make this bigger. Does it gotta be that size?
Widgets are usually locked into a certain size.
Okay. What's this arrow? Uh-oh.
Good job.
But now to get back to that,
You're on
I'll
the
probably
desktop.
just
How do you get back?
probably right here. And then up here.
Mm-hmm. Now get back to the desktop again.
Yeah. I'm checking to see if they got any hidden menus. So I'm just kind of going into the corners because there's a bar at the top I noticed earlier that looks familiar with what I'm used to working with Windows or with XP and Windows 7 too. But they have this kind of stuff like file, and this must be where you manage your various files. Edit, obviously that's the edit. Cut, paste, although I know there's some shortcuts too. The view, different view modes, and a sort by. Okay, that's probably to sort things that you're working on the go. All my files just takes you different places. Go home. I wonder what home is. Okay, so this is it's where all your various items are stored in the various folders. And here's a nice feature, help. So that's nice to know. You can search for things there, I assume. But, so I can probably type something in, it'll probably help me find it. So let me just try. I know it's called numbers. Whoops. Okay, so about numbers. Okay, so it has a little tutorial type of deal. Tells you, gives you a quick overview, and then gives you an option to open the App Store. I'm assuming if you wanted to get it, then you could buy it and it would load it onto your desktop or onto your computer. So I'll close that. Then on the right side, there's some things. My name's up there, and then there's a spotlight. I'm not sure what the search spotlight is. Huh. Okay, so let me go over here.
What are you doing?
It said spotlight, and I'm not sure what that is, so I thought I could go over to the help. And the first one is what is spotlight, so I'll select that, and it's going to tell me what it is. And you can scroll down. It's kind of a small. I'm used to a bigger wheel, but that's no big deal. This one feels better, actually. Uh-oh. I said it feels better. I like Windows. Okay. Yeah, but I can read all this. But I'm the type of person that I'm not as good a reader as my wife and my son, so I would probably have to read it a couple times for everything to sink in, so I'm not going to do that right now. So I'm just going to close that. I found what I wanted to know, and that was what it was. Then it just has the day and time. Now I wonder if you click on that. Okay, so there you can get the date. You just click on it, and then you can see what the date is. If you're like me and you're older and you forget what the date is, you can do that real quick to see what the date is. And in Windows, it's down here on the bottom, and I can hover it, and then it'll show me what it is. And this is the speakers. Yeah, so you can control the volume with the little slider, and it gives you a little graphic. Oh, and it gives you a little kickback there. So I can set it different levels. Okay. That's good to have out up there. Okay, that's your Wi-Fi to get you hooked into the Wi-Fi system. There's this little icon. I can't tell you what it looks like because I'm not sure what it is. Oh, that's Bluetooth. So it must be currently on because the two on options are, I can't select them, but it's giving me an option to turn it off. So if that's my option, that means it's on. So I'm not going to mess with it. Oh, and then I must have Chris's mouse in my hand. So that must be the different settings for the mouse sensitivity and all that kind of stuff. But everything's working good. This looks like a little clock. Oh, okay, this is like backups. Open time machine preferences. I'm going to open that, just look. Okay, now this is on. Now my guess is that's probably some kind of a backup, maybe. Okay, so I don't see that down here, but you can. I think you can put this icon down on your, I forget what they called that. But I kind of like this deal down here where everything's visible to me.
Actually, you haven't clicked on a couple of icons yet down there.
Down here?
Mm-hmm.
Is this like Finder? I don't think I did that one. Let me close this off. And there was one more, and it looks like a little house. So I'm going to hit it just to see where it takes me. Active alarm system.
It's just another app I have installed for all users on that machine.
Cool.
So basically no one can steal it.
Yeah, I think I stopped at mission control when I start messing with that one. There's a little rocket ship. It says Launchpad, and that sounds kind of interesting, so we're just going to look and see what it is. Probably, my guess is, it's a guess, but maybe launch a program or something like that. Oh, here's iMovie. I got that one, but oh, okay. Here's a little gizmo down here. You must be able to. Oh. I'm not sure how I'm getting that to move. Oh, there, I just click on and hold and then just, I got it. So these must be all the applications that are on this computer here. Or they're the backups. Well, a lot of them these look familiar, so it could be because Chris I know is on the cloud, so this is, all the stuff is probably not only here, but it's probably on his MacBook and on his iPad, and a lot of it's probably on his iPhone too. And so any of these I can open. Well, you got a lot on there. And then down here kind of shows you how many pages there are. So they're not, like some people organize them into one little folder, like on the phone or the iPad, you could organize those. And my guess is you probably can here, no? Oh, I saw Evernote. Yeah, right there.
Go ahead and launch it.
Launch Evernote. I haven't really used that one. Should I check updates for you? Okay, it needs a password. You're probably, so we won't mess with that.
I just wanted to
I launched
see if
it.
you knew how to launch it. So you've run through a fair amount of it and actually discovered a couple of things on your own. And that's kind of what I was hoping for in your first use of OS 10. So given this, we're asked the question all the time: Mac versus Windows, Mac OS 10 versus Windows, or OS 10 versus Windows, Mac versus PC. And we've written an article really asking our community which way are they going, are they thinking of one or the other. Now, as someone who's used Windows all their life, you slid around OS 10 pretty easily. Now, part of that may be that you were somewhat familiar with the icons. But I will point out the fact that when you discovered that help menu, you knew how to use it when you didn't realize what something was in another part of the operating system. So my question to you is, based on this very brief experience, would it ever come to mind that you would possibly ever think about getting a Mac and using OS 10 alongside Windows, if not over Windows?
I think it would be nice to know something in addition to Windows, because I think... actually, from what I'm seeing, I think Mac is doing a better job with consistency, especially in light of this experience yesterday. And I was very happy. It was interesting hearing Chris talk about older computers and that can be said for software too, because XP works fine for me. It does everything I want to do, so why use anything else? The only reason I use Windows 7 is because I bought a newer iPad, and you can't get XP anymore, or at least not that I know how. I think you probably can somehow, but I can't. So yeah, I'd be interested in kind of maybe learning some things. I'd like to learn numbers and see how that works. Now someone commented on something I had. I think it was in Google Plus, and I forget the guy's name. But I answered him with his initials because he had 3, like his middle name, RGB, something like that. And I told him that I thought the future was things like the iPad. They're so small, and if I could get over this hump with the cloud, you could probably do everything on a tablet-type computer. I mean, the only thing you would need, because occasionally you're going to need to print something, so you'd have to have access to a printer. But other than that, everything could probably be done on a small device you just carry with you all the time. Like when I used to carry the Franklin Planner, and then I made my own Franklin Planner. So, I just got to get over that hump, and that's a tough hump for me to get over. But maybe in a year, maybe I will be over the hump.